It may look a little, well, distinctive, but Toyota's compact SUV, the C-HR, has been a surprise hit since it launched in 2017, with the top-spec Koba model the most popular of the lot. As such, Toyota has introduced a hybrid version of the Koba for 2020, and at close to $40,000, it's also the most expensive of the lot. So, in a crowded market full of more affordable options, is the Koba Hybrid worth the extra $7,000 separating it from the entry-level C-HR? And who exactly should be considering this edgy little SUV? If you want a hybrid C-HR, the Koba two-wheel drive is your only available option, meaning you've got to go all in for the sake of the environment and fuel economy. That means a starting price of almost $40,000 on-road for the hybrid, against about $34,000 for the petrol Koba, or under $30,000 for the regular C-HR. Price-wise, that puts the Koba Hybrid at the top end of its segment, which includes the Mazda CX-3 Akari and Honda HR-V VTIL. Of course, neither of those cars are hybrids, which makes the next most comparable car the electric version of the Hyundai Kona, which starts at around $60,000. Not exactly small change. Style-wise, the C-HR is unique. I'll level with you. It's not to my taste, but there are fans in the office and clearly in the market. Although Toyota has added some 2020 updates to the C-HR's exterior in the form of a tweak to the headlights and front bumper, it's hardly a big change. Plus, you're more likely to be distracted by the car's overall looks, which have it looking like an extra from a sci-fi movie. And while the C-HR's futuristic design isn't to my taste, you'd certainly never accuse it of being boring, which, in my opinion, is the ultimate crime. In case you felt it was lacking in X-Factor as is, you have the option of a separate roof colour on the Koba, plus 17 different colourways, including shades like Hornet Yellow and Inferno Orange. One quirk worth mentioning, the high placement of the rear door handles makes it tricky to reach for little kids, which could be a good or bad thing depending on how much you like your children. The Koba Hybrid boasts a 1.8-litre four-cylinder petrol engine plus an electric motor, which drive the front wheels only via a continuously variable automatic transmission. As with other Toyotas, the petrol engine functions as a generator to recharge the battery, so you don't need to worry about plugging it in. All of this results in a claimed combined fuel consumption of just 4.3 litres per 100 kilometres. The hybrid combination produces 90 kilowatts of power, which basically means it's no beast, but it's responsive and capable of getting you through a freeway merge without any worries. Size-wise, the C-HR really puts the compact in compact SUV, particularly when it comes to boot size. The 318 litres available is respectable, but with the sloping rear windshield, you're not going to be able to get your family's Labrador in there. The weekly supermarket shop should be fine though, and with rear folding seats, you'll be able to fit that questionable outdoor table you bought in Gumtree last night just fine. The C-HR's back seat is the main sticking point for me. A sloping roof, a large C-pillar taking up a third of the window, no rear air vents. It has the whole thing feeling pretty darn claustrophobic, not to mention terrible for games of I Spy. Taller adults will have to duck their heads substantially to get into the car, and headroom is more limited than most, although legroom is fairly accommodating. And while rear passengers waive their right to personal air vents, they're compensated with cup holders. Slurpees all round. In the front, more cup holders, because it pays to stay hydrated. Those take the place of more traditional storage bins, so you'll probably end up using them more for your phone, keys and wallet than you will your morning latte. The C-HR Koba offers a leather steering wheel and seats, which are also heated, and glossy black finishes throughout the cabin. The overall look isn't quite premium, but it looks modern and is relatively intuitive to use. Despite the C-HR's smaller stature, ride height will remind you you're in an SUV. For me, however, that's where a heads-up display would have come in handy, because the odometer feels like quite a drastic glance down from a lofty height. The C-HR is also notably missing electric seat controls, something I'd expect in a car approaching $40,000. Other than that, the Koba spec is kitted out with all the safety and infotainment tech you'd expect, aside from a digital radio and wireless phone charger. Not exactly deal breakers. An 8-inch touchscreen replaces the previous 6.1-inch version, and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are both available. The car's reverse cameras and sensors are impressive, if a little overzealous at times. I particularly love the bird's eye view camera and front camera and sensors when squeezing into tight parks. The rear cross traffic alert is also handy when reversing out of a driveway without much visibility. The C-HR Hybrid utilises the electric motor at low speeds, meaning it's incredibly quiet and smooth to start. Once it gets going, the switch to petrol engine is almost imperceptible, bar a slight increase in noise, and the suspension handles bumpy roads, tram tracks and potholes with ease. Rearward visibility is limited thanks to a narrow rear window and those pesky, chunky C-pillars, which might take some getting used to. Now, normally this is where we'd find some twisting mountain road on which to unleash the C-HR, but this is a city car, so we're going to stay right here because that's where this car shines. It's smooth, silent, highly responsive and easy to manoeuvre and park in cramped city streets. It deals perfectly with all the frustrating parts of city driving, stop-start traffic, poor quality roads and other drivers, because remember, everyone is a bad driver except for you, and it's an all-round urban warrior. The C-HR is supported by a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty and has a 12-month or 15,000 kilometre service interval for just $200 a pop. The line between tall hatch and compact SUV is a fine one, and the C-HR was born to walk it. Family SUV, this is not, and those with kids should probably consider buying something with a little bit more room in the back. For the extra few $1,000s separating the Koba Hybrid from the entry-level C-HR, you're essentially buying comprehensive safety and infotainment tech, a more comfortable interior and excellent fuel consumption figures, all things that will probably make it worth it in the long run. Ultimately, this is a car for city dwellers who want the look and feel of an SUV without the practical elements of a larger car. So, if you're in the market for a hybrid with a ton of aesthetic X factor, the Toyota C-HR Koba Hybrid might just be your own little slice of the future. To find out more about the Toyota C-HR and other cars in the compact SUV segment, or just to read the best source of motoring news on the planet, head to caradvice.com. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of our latest video content. And please leave any questions or request any new reviews in the comments section below.